So this video is on how to thread the Elna L5. Inside it should have different threading charts. This one here is for the 5-thread safety stitch, which has a 3-thread overlock and a 2-thread chain stitch. And then the other one inside here is for a 2-thread overlock with a 2-thread chain stitch. Most people use this one. Now it tells you which order to thread it. You start with this one, which is the upper looper first, lower looper second, the left needle, well actually the right needle third, the chain stitch looper, and then the chain stitch needle. So that's the order in which you thread it. And this shows the threading. Also, these numbers in here tell you what the number of what the tensions should be set at. This one doesn't have it because it's really light. That one is adjusted here, and it's just, you just turn it until it starts to grab. You don't want it to be really very tight, but you don't want it to be so loose that it doesn't do anything. So as soon as it starts to grab and give some tension, you're probably pretty close. Maybe like one more half a turn or something. So we're going to begin with the threads. Use maxi lock thread. Go up, you can go up and over this. You can go through the hole if you'd like. But we're going to start with the upper looper. And the way these tensioners or the thread guides work is you slide the thread through the guide and then over to the side, and then it hooks over. So it's just a little bit of tension there. And by the way, my photography skills are not great, so just bear with me. Second guide is, and I'm having a hard time seeing it myself. So we're going to go through this guide here. You just pop it in. When you go through the tensioner, make sure that you put your finger on there and make sure that the thread goes all the way in the tensioner. You should feel tension. If you don't feel it, it's just riding on the outside edge. Then we're going to go through this looper, this guide, I'm sorry. There's this guide here, this guide here. We're going to just pop it over the top and make sure that it goes, whoops, in there like that. And just take your thread, give it a little twist like this, and it'll become kind of sharp and a little bit bulkier, and just grab it about 1 centimeter behind here, and then you're going to go through the eye of the looper here. After it pokes through a little bit, just grab it, move it underneath to the back, underneath the foot, and then that one's done. Second one's going to be the lower looper, the green one. So again, we're going to take it from the green. That's weird. Oh, okay, I see. It was threaded. So we're going to go through the green guide here, through here like this. We're going to go behind the green in the tensioner, up through there. Make sure it's got some tension on it. You can put your finger on there and just give it a quick pull. Make sure that it goes in there. Then we're going to go through the green guide. There's another green guide here. Okay. Then there's another green guide here. I'm going to pop it through there. Come on. It's a little tricky. Got to pop it in there. Well, let's try it again. We'll grab it with the tweezers. Get it in there like that. Not a lot of room. And I'm trying to film this at the same time. Well, I say film, but video it. Okay, I think I remember now. We have to go from the other direction. silly. I could usually do this in a second, but holding this camera straight is crazy. Yeah, we go across this way. This is ridiculous. There it goes. That's funny. And then this is the tricky part. Now with the upper, we'll put the upper looper behind the lower looper, and you bring the lower looper all the way to its furthest to the right before it goes back. And then there's this little slider, and you slide it this way like that, and then you hook the thread behind the little hook that's behind there like that. It clicks into place. Then slide that back, then twist your little thread like that, so it's got a little, grab it about 1 centimeter behind, poke it through the eye of the looper, grab it, put it over the upper looper, so make sure that the thread goes over the upper looper like that, and then turn it to make sure that, whoops, get it all the way through, that the thread goes, see, I've got it tangled over there, so we don't want that. So it goes over like that. So as it turns, it goes over the upper looper and hooks into that little, it's got a little area there where it kind of grabs it. And that's where you want it. So then just keep turning until it gets just almost in front of the needles. It's hard to thread the needles when the looper's in front, so go like that. The third one we're going to thread is the red right needle. Again, make sure that the thread is in the tensioner, that you can feel it. You're really going to feel some tension on the needles. And then you go through the red guide here, and then through the red guide on the other side, and it'll just ride in this little area there. And this, it crosses over to the right. So it goes from the left to the right, which is unusual for most sergers, but not unusual for industrial sergers. This is not an industrial serger, but it's similar. And then just grab the needle or the thread about 1 centimeter back, poke it through the eye of the needle, and pull it. Yeah, I got it. Pull it to the back and place it with the other 2 threads. Sorry, my photography skills are not good. This whole thing is really not easy to do. So now we've got the overlock is threaded. If you want to use the chain stitch for chain stitching, the next thing we do, number 4, is going to be the chain stitch looper, which is this looper that's going here. And so what you want to do is move it till it gets all the way to the left, and then take the thread from the outside looper. We're going to, whoops, go through there. Going to go down here. We got this piece of thread stuck in there. Through the guide. Then we're going to go through this guide here. Between the tensioner. Whoops. Like this. Over the top. There's a guide there. Then we're going to hit this looper. Thread guide. And then, of course, this one here. Got that one in there. Now, we're going to snip the thread, get a nice blunt edge with a sharp pair of scissors, and don't touch the tip because then it'll start to unravel. And grab it about, I don't know, maybe a couple of centimeters or so. And then you're going to take the thread and poke it through that hole in the looper, in the end of the looper. And poke it through and push maybe like an inch or so in there. Just keep just kind of very carefully push some thread through to the other side. Then, without touching anything, open it up. I may not have pushed enough through, but you'll be able to see the thread coming through the other side. I don't think I pushed enough through. So I'm just going to keep pushing. Very carefully. That's probably good enough. Usually you can see it, and you can just stick your tweezers in there. Oh, come on, seriously? Let's try it again. I apologize, this is crazy. Without this thing, I'd have had the thread machine threaded and ready to roll. Gonna try it again. This time I'm gonna grab it about a couple of centimeters out. This is crazy. Keep pushing it. There we go. Got quite a bit through there. And now you can see that it just popped out on the other side. Now, same thing, just grab it very close to the edge. And through the eye of the looper to the other side, like that. Pull it through. And pull the thread so that make sure that nothing came unthreaded and didn't get hooked on anything. And then, this is important, just cut the thread about here and just leave it hang. It's going to hang a couple of inches, just hanging there like that. You don't have to do anything with it. Now, making sure that the other threads aren't underneath the side cover, we're going to just make sure all three of the threads are in there. I think we got a little bit of a hang up there. Yeah, that shouldn't be like that. I didn't get it in there. I'm telling you, this is trying to do this and film it at the same time is not easy. So I pulled the thread, so the three threads of the overlock are there. Oh, we have the last needle that we have to thread, which is the blue one. So we're going to take the blue thread, we're going to go through the tensioner, we're going to grab the check spring, bring it up over the hook so that the check spring works like that. Then we're going to put the thread through this looper guide, thread guide. And then this has to go behind through there, goes into this guide here, and then nice blunt edge. Whoops. And again, lower the foot down so we can get to the eye of the looper, eye of the needle. I'm looking through the camera here. This is not easy. Okay. Now, this thread here, don't put it with the other ones. Grab it from behind and pull it over to the left. Let's not get it around the foot. So what we want to do is grab this thread, and this is true with most all 5-thread machines. Leave that looper underneath there hanging, and then this one off to the left, above the needle, or above the plate in the foot. Now this has a finger guard, so we're going to close that. We're going to close this. Everything's ready to roll. And I'm going to take this thread and make sure it's off to the side. Now let me grab a piece of fabric here. I'm going to take the foot and I'm going to lift it up with my thumb and I'm going to slide it in there about underneath where the needle is. But I'm also going to make sure that it's right against where the knife would have cut it. So it's like it's already been guided in there. And then I wasn't prepared. I didn't get the foot control ready to go. Okay. So cover stitch machines, 5-thread chain stitch machines, safety stitch, chain stitch machines, you have to start them a certain way. Once they get going, you're good to go. So we've got the machine plugged in, ready to go. I've got it all threaded up. I've got the looper, or the chain stitch needle off to the side, and I'm going to put my finger on it like this. And then I'm just going to go ahead and start sewing. And we'll let it cut. And then chain off, pull to the back, don't pull to the side, because you can break the plate. And then I haven't set the tensions yet, but that looks not so hot. So the upper looper is too tight, so we're going to loosen that to 1, which is what it called for. And the lower looper is set at 2. Let's take a look here. It should be at, let's see, should be at 1 and 2. So we're going to set this at 1 and this at 2. But it might need to be tweaked a little bit because it's never perfect. But anyway, that's how you thread it. Chain stitch to the back, and that's it. So that's how you thread the L5. And actually that looks pretty good. The stitches join up at the top. This could be loosened just a hair, and this may be tightened just a hair. But that looks good. So that's how you thread an Elna L5.